Hello, and welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to basically launch your vision despite the excuses that you may have, whether you're feeling overwhelmed, whether you're feeling frustrated, whether you feel like you don't kind of have the connections that you might need, or even the skills and resources that your vision, your goal, your dream are going to require of you. I'm going to share the one thing that you need, regardless of all of those things. Now, before I continue, it would be remiss of me not to introduce myself if you don't know who I am. So let me do it, right? So my name is Nina Dafe, and I inspire Christian women just like yourselves to speak up, step out, and shine as the women of God that God made you, them, everybody watching to be. And what kind of got me thinking about this whole subject was actually a conversation that I had with a friend of mine who also happens to be a part of the Far Above Rubies collective, my online community. I mean, it was over the weekend. I want to say maybe it was Sunday. And it was off the back. Hi to the person who just joined. Say hi. Let me know who you are. Yeah, it was off the back basically of the message that I shared last week about frustration and about the fact that actually, sometimes as we're chasing our goals, as we're chasing our dreams, and we're kind of, in that in between place where we're not quite where we started from. Hey, Marlin, where we're not quite where we started from, but we're also not quite where we want to be. How that can be frustrating, and actually we can look around at, where we are with disdain because we're glorifying our future so much, and all of those sort of things. And as I was kind of speaking to her, well, she was basically talking about the fact that she was really blessed by that live, because funnily enough, she had just been complaining to one of her other friends about how frustrated she was with her current situation. And it's like, the message that I had sent was kind of just in the nick of time and gave her the reminders that she kind of needed. And as we continue to talk and stuff, she was telling me again about, what her goals and her dreams are. And, this particular lady, hey, Margaret, thank you for joining. This particular lady, she's such an encourager, and she, with all of the kind of life experiences that she has had as well, like she's just full of wisdom, from the experiences that she's had, from the things that God has taken her through, and so one of her big goals and one of her big dreams is actually to kind of launch a website. Oh, thank you, Margaret. Is actually to kind of launch a website and, get to the point where she kind of has a platform from which to, share all of the thoughts and all of the gifts that God has given her. And of course, like you, because I've experienced this as well, she probably, she has this big vision and this big goal about what it's all supposed to look like. But because the goal and the vision looked so big, she was getting frustrated because of the fact that she didn't feel like she kind of had the time, the resources, and the skill set to get it off the ground the way that she actually really wanted to. And so that kept her feeling stuck. That kept her kind of in analysis paralysis and kind of rooted to the same spot instead of continuing to go with what it is that she wanted to do. And, the two things that really stood out for her with the video that I posted last week was the reminder that what, our current situation, we once prayed for it. It was something that we once begged for. It's something that we made the conscious decision to cultivate in order to be in the situation that we are now. And so to kind of, I don't know, be so frustrated in that same situation that we're looking about it with disdain is almost not only a dishonor to ourselves, but it's a kind of a show of a lack of gratitude towards God. And then the other thing that also, really encouraged her was my whole thing about one cocoa full basket, inch by inch is a cinch, just doing one thing at a time in order to build towards where it is that you want to go. So I'm saying all of that to say this: no matter how big your goal, your dream, your vision may be, the way that you can get started today, immediately, is to basically start from where you stand. As we were messaging and kind of speaking to each other, we love to do like voice notes and all of that sort of stuff. Hi Madeline, she was basically saying, do you know what? My ultimate goal is to have this website, is to have this platform, and I've got it all kind of figured out in my head. I know how I want it to look, and I know it's going to be amazing. But because right now I don't have the time, the skill set, the connections, and all the other things that I need in order to actually launch this thing the way that I want to, I'm going to take your advice, Nina, of the whole one cocoa full basket, and I'm going to look to the resources that I've already got in my hands and basically start with that. So her idea then became, okay, fine, I've got social media. I may not have a website, but I've got Instagram and I've got Facebook. I can start a Facebook page. I can, start an Instagram account, and I can start to, share my thoughts and my encouragement and all of the things that God has laid on my heart through those platforms. Day by day, one cocoa full in the basket, build my following, do what it is that I need to do. And that is as good as having my goal. And as I gain momentum and as, time starts to open up for me and I start to be, I guess, introduced to the right people and know what to do and all of those sorts of things, then I can build towards the website. And it reminded me that actually when I was building the Far Above Rubies Collection.com, that was exactly what I did. Like, I had this idea that I didn't just want it to be me sharing and, me just kind of, sharing my thoughts about Christian womanhood, feminism, femininity, and all the other things that God has kind of laid on my heart. I wanted to myself kind of be exposed to, but also expose, the people in my community to Christian women who are doing such awesome, inspiring, and encouraging things as well. I didn't know who to reach out to at first, and it seemed at the time like so terrifying and this big whole thing. But what I did first and foremost was reach out to friends and reach out to family and just start with them, begin interviewing them and begin to get them to share on what they thought Christian womanhood, kind of meant to them, what it represented, who their favorite women of the Bible was. Because my whole thing was about, exposing the women of the Bible, giving us more role models, than just the same kind of ones or the same, men that we kind of hear about all the time. I wanted to have those feminine representations for us to feel empowered and for us to be able to identify with and live up to, because we as women are so powerful and so significant as well. And just doing all of that, I mentioned before, it gave me the momentum that I need to be here now. What started as a blog, has turned now into me doing these lives on social media, has turned now into, me interviewing like experts and industry leaders, and sharing those interviews with you guys. But it literally just started with me starting where I stood and just looking around and saying, okay, what are the resources that I have right now? Who do I already have around me who inspires me? Who can I partner with, and who can I approach in order to make this thing a success? I talked about this friend with her speaking platform. I've got another one who I can think of who's just popped into my head, who's doing the same exact thing in starting where she is standing. So her thing is, she is amazing at like decorating, like decor for events. So things like wedding receptions, things like parties, and all of those sorts of things. She's getting that business off the ground. Right now, she doesn't have a website. It's something that she's building towards, but it hasn't stopped her getting clients. And in the meantime, while she's kind of, getting the skill set, the money together that she needs in order to get the vision to where she wants it to be in terms of her website and stuff, guess what she's doing? She's still working towards her business. She's still making stuff. She's still using her skill set as she has it right now. She's still doing all of these events, and she's just making sure that as she does these events, she's getting the testimonials that she needs. As she does these events, she's making use of the photographers that they have, so she can build the portfolio that she needs in order to have the ultimate goal of the website and the professionalism that she wants there. So I say all of this to say that even if you don't feel like you have the skills yet, hi Trudy, even if you don't feel like you've got the skills yet, even if you don't feel like you've got the resources, the right connections, you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling frustrated, whatever the case may be, I want to encourage you that you don't necessarily need to have everything together all at once. You don't need to do all the things all at the same time. As you always hear me say, one cocoa full basket, and you literally can just start from where you stand. So what I really want to, I guess, challenge you with, encourage you with, get you to ponder on this week is, what do I have around me? I feel, and who I have in my head at the moment is the Bible story about the woman that had the little bit of oil, and I think what was happening was her husband died, left her and her family with a whole load of debt. And so because of that, the debtors that she had were basically going to take her sons as slaves in order to pay that debt. And the prophet basically then said, okay, fine, you don't want this to happen, but what do you have in your house? And she said, oh, only this little bit of oil. And he was just like, do you know what? Gather your pots, start to pour it in there, go and sell it to your neighbors, go and sell it to the people around you. And literally, for as many pots as she had had the supply from the oil. And obviously a miracle took place. She sold the oil in that was in her house, and she was able to then take that money to pay off all of that debt, and her sons were then not taken into captivity. And I think it's the same thing that I'm going to challenge you with, and that I'm going to leave you with. What do you have in your house? Who do you have around you? What are the skill sets that you already have? Who can you reach out to now in order to just get this show on the road and not procrastinate on the goals and the dreams that God has laid on your heart? Okay, I'm just seeing I've got some comments, so let me just read. So much truth here. You don't necessarily need to have it all together all at once. Absolutely, Margaret. Love that saying. Great reminder, Nina. One cocoa full basket. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, Marlene. And the one cocoa full basket is literally one of my, anyone who knows me well, is like literally one of my mantras, because I know what it's like. I know what it's like to have a big goal and a big vision, because let's be honest, when God gives us goals, dreams, and visions, they tend to be him-sized, these big, gargantuan, God-sized things. And I think he does that because ultimately he wants to get the glory. At the end of the day, I think it comes into our relationship with him. It causes us to lean on him more. It lets us know that at the end of the day, we couldn't have done it without him. And so when people see our light shining and when people see where we get to, of course, we're forced to point upwards, you know? So it's about, yes, our vertical relationship with him, but also the horizontal relationships, you know, drawing other people towards him as well. As the praises go up, you know, he causes other people to be kind of drawn to him, right? That's what scripture says. But I think also, like I said, when you have those sort of big dreams, those big goals, it's easy to be, I guess, lost in fear. It's easy to be lost in analysis paralysis, overwhelm, and all of the kind of negative emotions that can come into sometimes chasing our goals and dreams. And I think that this is the aspect of purpose and that pursuit that most people don't tend to talk about. But I think that that's actually what keeps a lot of people stuck. I think a lot of the times it's not the fact that we don't know what we're supposed to do, it's the fact that we do know, but we almost feel like we can't, or that we're disqualified or don't know where to begin. So I am here right now as your encourager, your cheerleader, and as someone who has lived this. I always say this is not me preaching at you. Anything that I talk about, I've gone through myself. You don't have to have it all together. You don't necessarily have to have everything all at once now. Start from where you stand. What's in your grasp? What can you work on right now? You know, until obviously all the other things start to fall into place. But here's the other thing I want to leave you with, actually, that not starting, I'm trying to think about how to put this in a way that makes sense. Basically, if you, it's your work, it's you actually making your move that will attract the people that you need to help you, or the resources that you need to help you to you. If you're not doing anything, if people don't have anything to notice in terms of the goal, the dream, the project that God has given you, then no one is necessarily going to be on the alert that actually, you know, they might be able to help you, or that they might be able to assist you. It's you starting to actually do things and move towards your goal and your purpose that makes room for you, that begins to open up the doors that you need, that basically gets you the momentum that you need to then build towards the big goal and dream that you want. Does that make sense? I think it's like the saying that I love from Robin Sharma. He says, dream big, but start small, which is basically what I'm saying to you. Yes, you have the big goal. Yes, you have the big dream, but you don't necessarily have to start on the big level, especially if it doesn't seem within your means right now. Start from where you stand, start small, and build towards the bigness that you actually see. Okay, so I hope that made sense to you. I hope that that was you know, something that blessed you. Thank you for all the likes and the love on this video, all of your commentary. I love it when you guys like interact and all of that stuff. Yes, Margaret, dream big but start small. That's another one of my favorite sayings. So that's what I'm going to leave you guys with, okay? Start from where you stand, dream big, start small, okay? So if you enjoyed this video, if it blessed you, if you can think of somebody else who needs to hear this, then please feel free to like, feel free to share. If you're watching in the replay, then still comment. Let me know what your biggest takeaways were, because I still go back and I'll still, interact and comment back. And if you're watching on YouTube, then I would also strongly suggest that you subscribe, and don't forget to press the bell to get notified of when my next video comes out, which is basically every week. I usually post at least twice a week, okay? So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be blessed and take care until next time, all right? Bye.